Honda is known for building practical, economical, and reliable vehicles. Introduced just last year, Honda's HR-V is their smallest crossover offering, part of the booming subcompact crossover class. If you're looking for a practical, small family car, you may want to put the HR-V on your list. So let's go ahead and check out and take a closer look at this 2017 Honda HR-V. Now, I'm not usually a huge fan of the way subcompact crossovers are styled, but I do think that the HR-V is one of the better looking subcompact crossovers out there, as it's not as dinky looking as something like a Nissan Juke. Now, our HR-V we have here is a pretty loaded one. It's the EXL with navigation, and it's pretty nice. It features a full-on leather interior. You also do have a moonroof, as well as a navigation system, of course. Now, the HR-V was fully redesigned just last year, and not much has changed for the 2017 model year. Now, here goes the key fob design for the vehicle. You have your lock, unlock, and then to release your tailgate, and then you have your panic alarm too. Now, this color of the HR-V is known as the Misty Green Pearl. You also do have smart key access on the driver's door, as well as the front passenger door. And it also features a full-on black leather interior, full manual driver's seat adjustments with manual recline. Now, stepping on inside of the HR-V here, the HR-V certainly has one of the nicest interiors in the class. I really do love the molded stitching on the dashboard, gives it a more high quality feel inside of here. But they do need a little bit more contrast inside of here. Just everything is a little too black. There's no aluminum trim going on inside of here or anything like that. But at least they do have chrome, which spices up things a little bit. Now, you do have push button ignition. Just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to start. And what you're hearing there is a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine. You have a full leather wrap steering wheel. Coming to your transmission, CVT automatic. And when you put the vehicle into reverse, this will display your multi-angle rear view camera. You can also change the different views. You have your normal view right here, and then a wide angled view, and then your top down view too. And a rear view camera does come as standard equipment on the HR-V. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the headlights, as well as the fog lights and the hazards. Let's go ahead and check out the exterior of the HR-V. You also do have an automatic driver's side window. Let's go and pop up the hood and check out the engine bay. Heated exterior mirrors with LED turn signal indicators. Now, the HR-V is Honda's smallest crossover offering, and it's one of their cheapest vehicles in their model lineup. You have 17-inch alloy wheels. Now, compared to some of its competitors in the class, like the Jeep Renegade, if you are looking for off-road capabilities, the Jeep is going to be better than the HR-V here. But the HR-V could still come with all-wheel drive. You also do have halogen headlights with halogen fog lights. Now, powering the HR-V here is your only powertrain that's available. It's a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine that produces 141 horsepower and 127 pound-feet of torque, with EPA estimates being a pretty exceptional 28 in the city and 34 on the highway with our front-wheel drive model. Now, this fuel economy is pretty good thanks to that CVT automatic that we have here. Now, competitors of the HR-V, you have the vehicles in the subcompact crossover class. This includes the likes of the Jeep Renegade, Kia Soul, the Chevrolet Trax, Buick Encore, and you also do have the Nissan Juke. Coming to the rear of the HR-V, you have LED brake lights, as well as a rear window wiper and a shark fin antenna. EPA estimates, like I said, 28 in the city and 34 on the highway. Overall vehicle score is a 5 out of 5, that's good. And the final assembly point for this vehicle is actually in Mexico. And the total vehicle price, you're looking at $25,740. You have all of your basic power necessities, including power windows, door locks, power mirrors, chrome interior door handles too. Now, interior quality is really good, actually one of the better vehicles in the class. You have soft touch materials all on the door panels here and on the armrests, which is nice. Nice stitching too, which is pretty cool. And on the dashboard, this portion is hard touch plastic, but the material and the graining of the plastic is not too bad. And then this portion is slightly soft touch. And the build quality is pretty good. Everything feels decently sturdy inside of here. I mean, nothing feels like it's gonna fall apart or anything like that. And overall, I certainly think it's one of the better vehicles in terms of interior quality in the subcompact crossover class. Coming to the steering wheel design, you do have a pretty stylish 3-spoke steering wheel. Love the black gloss trim. And then you also do have your steering wheel mounted audio controls, voice recognition, Bluetooth phone controls, and your cruise control. And one cool feature that Honda has on the HR-V, and they're starting to get rid of it now for some reason on their newer cars, they have the lane watch system. So when you put your signal on for the right, there's actually a little camera on this side mirror right here. It basically acts like a blind spot camera rather than a regular blind spot detection system. But that's pretty cool. And you can access this camera anytime you like just by pushing on that button. I wish they would still have it on the new CR-V though. Up here you also do have your auto dimming rearview mirror, as well as your sunroof with your sunroof controls. Down here you also do have a little storage cubby where you can store mini knickknacks, and you have 2 USB charging ports as well as an HDMI input. Electronic parking brake with your automatic brake hold feature. Love that the HR-V has that. And you also have your center console. And the lid is nice and soft touch. The seats are also pretty comfortable in the HR-V, pretty supportive. They provide a pretty good amount of thigh support as well as side bolstering. Visibility of the HR-V is decent. There's a decent amount of side glass area through the front windows. And when you get to rearward visibility, it can be a little bit better, but at least the rear view camera does come as standard equipment, which is nice. And coming to the climate controls, I love how everything is facing towards the driver. You do have automatic climate control here. And you have touch sensitive buttons, which are calibrated pretty well. You have your temperatures and your different zones, as well as your fan speed level. It's pretty easy to figure out once you get the hang of it. And you have 2 staged heated seats for the driver and the front passenger. Now let's get to the head unit and the main infotainment system. Now, just like with the climate controls, the infotainment system is facing more towards the driver, which is cool. And this is your main home screen, and pretty much you can access all your menus from here. You have your navigation, and the navigation system is okay. It shows you live traffic, and you can enter in your destination by voice. There's nothing groundbreaking here, but it gets the job done. Then you have your phone. You can hook up your Bluetooth phone, have all of your contacts stored on here, then you can view your call history, and then you have speed dial. What I don't like about this head unit, however, is this volume button right here, as it can be pretty finicky to use at times. Coming to your audio, you have your different audio sources, which do include all of the norm, including AM, FM, XM satellite radio. You have your USB port with iPod integration and Bluetooth streaming audio. Settings, there's many different settings that you could change here, from the camera, navigation, audio, Bluetooth system, like the brightness and the contrast, all that good stuff. Then you have your Honda Link. You have to have your Bluetooth device connected to it. Then we have your info, which shows you things like your instant fuel economy, average fuel economy, history of your trip information. But overall, this head unit is okay. The responsiveness is okay, but it certainly can be a little bit better. Coming to the gauges and the whole instrument cluster, it's a pretty traditional looking setup with your speedometer right in the center and then your tachometer on the left. On the right, you also do have your digital clock as well as your fuel range and your trip information, as well as your exterior temperature readout and your fuel gauge. We also do have paddle shifters when you put the transmission into the S, which is the sports mode. Now as far as the way the HRV drives, now this is certainly not going to be the sportiest crossover on the market. However, if you're looking for a vehicle that provides great comfort as well as good fuel economy, then the HRV will certainly fit the bill. Now the steering, it does feel predictable. It feels like you can feel for where this vehicle is trying to go, but it's no canyon carver. If you're looking for a vehicle that offers a little bit more driver engagement and a more joyful driving experience, then you may want to check out the Mazda CX-3. That's certainly the better handling vehicle in the class. But the HRV does provide good comfort, and it has a pretty quiet and a pretty pleasant ride quality. But the 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine can also feel pretty anemic at times. Even though it does have pretty good fuel economy, the acceleration is pretty pokey, and it certainly can use a stronger turbocharged 4-cylinder. That's what I recommend Honda doing for this HRV. But overall, it's not that bad of a vehicle in terms of the way it drives. I certainly will say that the fuel economy and comfort are the Honda's greatest strengths in terms of the way it drives. All right, and let's go ahead and shut down the HRV. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the vehicle. Now the HRV actually has one of the roomiest cargo areas in the subcompact crossover class. Plenty of cargo space, especially for a subcompact crossover. These rear seats also do fold down, 60-40 split. And when you fold the rear seats down, there's plenty of cargo space back here. Now one problem with these door handles that are mounted up pretty high is that it can be a little hard for children to reach them. Now the materials and the build quality do follow through in the rear, which is nice. You also do have rear adjustable headrests for all 3 seats. And when you sit back here in the HRV has one of the roomiest back seats, I have to say. There's plenty of rear seat legroom, and headroom isn't too shabby with that sleek styling. And you have a single map pocket back here, as well as a single cup holder, and a 12-volt power outlet, which is nice. But if you are looking for a pretty accommodating rear seat, the HRV will certainly not disappoint when you compare it to some other vehicles in the class, like the Nissan Juke. All right. Full manual passenger seat. Box. You also do have a 12-volt power outlet down here on top of the 2 USB charging ports and the HDMI input. So with its exceptional fuel economy, its good ride comfort, and plenty of cargo space as well as rear seat legroom, the 2017 Honda HRV makes for a pretty practical subcompact crossover. However, if you're looking for one with a little bit more driver engagement, then you may want to check elsewhere. So remember that this is Cameron Birch from Cameron's Car Reviews.